Hello everyone, I am Alvin M. Doroteo and I will talk about the responsibilities of students on their studies at this time of pandemic. So before the COVID-19 pandemic, online class has already been a practice in some universities. When the pandemic started last year, most, if not all, state universities and colleges adopt another paradigm of learning like the modular, online, or blended learning. However, there are key factors affecting the efficacy of online learning. Thus, it is a must that the student should understand the dynamics in online setting and how it works. The student should know how to virtually interact, relate, perceive, and understand their own role and their instructors and professors as well. So my topic has two parts. The first one is about the roles of the student in the online learning and their responsibilities during the online class and in the university. So for the emphasis, a student should have an understanding on the role of their instructors and professors both in face-to-face class and online class. So each student should have his or her own expectations on how instructions should be carried out in conventional way. The methods of learning may have a lot of differences, but its goal is the same, and that is for the student to learn and learn and learn. So teaching is in the form of facilitating, guiding, and scaffolding learnings and not to spoon feed you. So some students may think that the instructors are not teaching them well when a teacher gives them assignment or requires and asks them of matters not included in the discussion. Such is not to make the students suffer, but a test of learning, teaching the ability and the capability of the students. So as Professor Parson of the University of Houston said, and I would like to quote that, at the university, learning is your job and yours alone. So the job of your instructors and professors is only to lead you in the fountain of knowledge. Whether you drink deeply or only gargle, that is entirely up to you. So if the student doesn't know his her own or her own role as well as his instructors, then he or she might have these confusing thoughts, and that's when the problem arises. So what really are the roles of the students? So here are the roles of the students in online learning according to Isman and the Badge 2004. First, being self-responsible on tasks, consulting to advisors through required access methods, being an individualistic learner, catching same effective interaction with counselors like classical learning, and evaluate and judge self-performance. So first, let's talk about being responsible on tasks. So the student should be responsible in submitting all required outputs like lab reports for the assigned task on or before the deadline. So failure to submit may affect your overall ratings. Your instructors and professors will not wait for you to submit your outputs prior to the computation of your grades. And if the students have deadlines, your instructors, remember, do also have deadlines to submit grade sheets at the registrar's office. Another is about consulting to advisors to required access methods. So your instructors or professors will reach you through any internet platforms accessible to all students enrolled in the course. In our case, we are advised to use Escuela, that is a learning management system wherein the university is subscribing. So aside from that, we are also encouraged to use other social media platforms like Facebook group, Messenger, and email. When there is a need to inquire regarding the topics, do not hesitate to do so. So like, for example, if the classes has already commenced and it so happened that you are not included to any group chats of your enrolled courses, then take initiative to reach your respective course instructors or professors immediately. Another, being an individualistic learner. So remote classes like the online learning encourage the student to learn independently. So this is not only to challenge the student to do things on their own, but mostly because this mode of learning is being adapted to combat the pandemic without compromising the right to education. So here we learn while following health and safety protocols required by the Department of Health. So I understand that it is nice to work or learn with peers, but the student should learn how to work and study by himself most of the time. So this would allow you, the student, to work at your own pace and would also build the character of self-reliance. Catching same effective interaction with counselors like classical learning. So you have to interact in an online class like the classical way. So whenever there is a synchronous class conducted online, feel free to ask relevant questions and participate in the discussion. So as a student, it is your role to respond diligently whenever your course instructors or professors post inquiries, announcements, and other course matter. So this way, the student interacts with tell the teacher, for example, how far you have gone in the topic. Lastly, about evaluating and judging self-performance. So it is also your role as a student to assess your own learnings in the duration of the classes. So the student may contemplate and evaluate whether he or she had learned and acquired necessary skills and knowledge required in the course as indicated in the outcomes-based learning section of your course syllabus. So this would also encourage the student to strive harder, seek help and guidance from the instructors and professors and their peers to improve a learning process. Okay, so after learning your crucial roles as students in online class, let us proceed to students' responsibilities. So there are 5 student responsibilities and 3 student obligations as prescribed in the student handbook that I would like to highlight. So the first one is about close coordination to your course instructors. So as a student, you are responsible to coordinate with your course instructors or professors whenever they have some inquiries to provide better understanding of certain matters regarding the course enrolled. So as observed, the student may send messages to their course instructors or professors anytime. However, you or one should observe proper time and etiquette when writing message of inquiry or when communicating. So the response of your instructors or professors mostly will be received during office hours. Another, on-time submission of course requirement. So the student should be responsible for the on-time submission of your course requirement. So expect that most of the assignments and quizzes posted in the eskwela or any platforms used in the enrolled course do have timelines and deadlines. So automatically, the link will be closed or unavailable after a specific period. Thus, the student should take exam or submit outputs promptly or on time. Another, being diligent in filing academic documents. So, it is your responsibility as a student to keep and properly file your academic documents, like, for example, your registration forms or your RFs, your high school report card, your Form 137, and others. So, there are restrictions in getting copies of your documents submitted to the office. So take note, remember that the college staffs are not obliged to scan your records and give you copies of your documents at any time. So it is your responsibility to keep um, your own documents. Another, actively participate in FB groups, messenger group chats, and other online platforms prescribed by your instructors or professors. So the student is responsible to participate in any course group chats he or she is enrolled with. The student should who remain inactive, okay, remember this, if you remain inactive despite several attempts or efforts of your instructors, the staff, or the college to reach you out, can be dropped in the subject without any prejudice. Moreover, the student should at all times be polite and courteous whenever you have inquiries, either in direct message, group chat, or other platforms. Compliance with the course requirements. So every course will require major requirements. So for example, the course Research and Methodologies may require research proposal as a major requirement. So failure to comply with it at a given time may risk you as a student from having GIP or INC on your final grade. Your GIP, that is grade in progress, or INC, incomplete. So delayed submission may also result to delayed computation and submission of grades. So as such, the student has no right in any way to force their instructors or professors to release grades right after the submission of the major requirement after the deadline. Okay, here are the highlights from the student handbook. So the first one is about the observance of proper dress code and wearing protective or PPEs. Example, your face mask. So when going to school, the student should adhere into the prescribed dress codes as indicated in the student handbook. So it is not proper to enter the university premises wearing ripped jeans, short shorts, sando or sleeveless shirts, and wearing slippers, among others. So there are corresponding penalties as indicated in the handbook. So you may visit your student handbook. It is available online at the university page. Another, it is illegal to knowingly tamper, alter, forge, or falsify academic records and other credentials. Student found guilty committing the mentioned acts would be liable and suffer penalties. So for more details, please refer also to the student handbook. So remember that do not tamper, okay, or forge any documents, like for example your RF. Lastly, the observance of proper haircuts and hair color. So as indicated in the student handbook, there are prescribed haircuts for male and female students. So the same also discourage the students to dye their hair with striking colors like green, red, or blue, for example. So again, please refer to the student handbook. So my list of student roles and responsibilities is not exclusive, but are just few of the many roles and responsibilities a student of University of Antique should perform in order to uphold and exercise its core values, which are the excellence, commitment, integrity, and social responsibility. So our dear student, always be responsible, aim to learn and enjoy your stay at the university. Thank you.